What's up, everybody? I'm Justin.
I'm Jerry.
You've been added into the anime group chat. Today, we're covering Chainsaw Man Chapter 112. After everything that happened with Yuko, Asa and Yoru investigate the situation. They meet the Devil Hunter Club, which somehow contains not only the girl that we saw with the pull cord earrings, but another pull cord user who claims to be Chainsaw Man. They head out to find someone that they can turn into a weapon to defeat this supposed Chainsaw Man and end up stalking Denji, who is reselling cigarettes to homeless people. Jerry, what did you think about this chapter?
Yo, the end of the chapter with Denji selling like not even Lucy cigarettes, but like re-rolling whole cartons of cigarettes and selling them to homeless people is absolutely crazy. I just love the level of hustle this man is willing to go to provide for not only himself, we should all be reminded, providing for himself, plus a full devil child and I think like 8 dogs or something. So we gotta respect the Sigma male grindset of Denji right now, but it's just like the most hilariously unpredictable way to hustle that I've seen in anime. Like Denji's undefeated. But overall in the chapter, man, I mean, we have a lot of the same questions that we had last time around, which is, you know, who is this devil or, you know, this person who has the same eyes as like Asa and Makima, who showed up like right in the nick of time to save Yuko. But now we have another layer of like, okay, well, we were confused about what the pull cord earrings meant, if they were scales of justice or if they weren't. But now we actually have an entire club that she's seemingly a part of that also has other elements of these pull cords, right? We have this like fake Saw Man Isayumi, like Haruka Isayumi, who is claiming to be Chainsaw Man, like affirmatively basically says, yeah, that's me. We'll talk later, Asa. So I think in general, I mean, this is just another like world building question bringing chapter. But I think generally to me, it's starting to take form in the shape of the Justice Devil is somewhere in this Devil Hunter Club, in my opinion. Asa brings up let's call her twirly-eyed girl for now. Brings up twirly-eyed girl in the very beginning as potentially being the Justice Devil. I'm still in the camp of this is one of the four horsemen, so likely not the Justice Devil. But we have a couple of people, you know, namely Isayumi, who's claiming to be Chainsaw Man, and this other character sort of sitting in the back left that we didn't see at all during any of the previous chapters, who were prime candidates for being the Justice Devil still. So I think like there's definitely a level of coordination here between, you know, who I assume to be one of the four horsemen and then the Justice Devil, and then perhaps some fake Sawman element here. But what was your take, bro?
I was very thrown off by the additional pull cord, I'll tell you that. Because again, Jerry and I had discussed at length what these pull cord earrings could be. Were they scales? What do they symbolize? And then to see that, you know, another member of the supposed Devil Hunter Club has one on his chest immediately and then is claiming that it's chainsaw related, it just throws all of our ideas to the like wayside, which I feel as though Fujimoto does every week with Jerry and I, and probably every fan that reads this. So this one definitely threw me for a loop. I also was a bit confused as to the potential Justice Devil being a member of the Devil Hunter Club. That threw me for a loop as well, because why was all this chaos going on in the school and then 2 Devil Hunter Club members, you know, try to end it, but it turns out that the actual, you know, person behind Kaijuing Yuko is a member of the club as well. It just makes me wonder what kind of like subplot is going on here with our earring girl. If she is the Justice Devil and she's posing as a member of the Justice Devil Club, did she allow Yuko to kill other members and, of course, to rampage through the school for her own reasons that the rest of the club is not aware of? It throws me for a bit of a loop, because clearly it seems as though the rest of the club also has some kind of fake devil powers as well. So I'm still kind of looking at, you know, our silent earring you know, potential Justice Devil girl as the main baddie here, and just wondering if she is in fact orchestrating the weirdness that's going on with the Devil Hunter Club, and what the aim of it all is.
One thing that's interesting is like you talked about how like some of the Devil Hunter Club members might have different like quasi devil contracts or like, you know, hybrid situations or something going on. I almost wonder if it's a bit more like partitioned within the Devil Hunter Club, and if this is like really a kind of a callback to public safety, right? Because in public safety, and you almost had like a few different factions with varying levels of knowledge at
Yeah.
play, right? So like you had like Kishibe clearly didn't know everything that was going on. Didn't know like I think he maybe knew like that she was the control devil to some extent, but he didn't have all the information. And Makima was like also doing her own thing with the other hybrids and devils that were under her control within the organization as well. And I almost wonder if like the people that we saw show up to defend the school from Yuko like weren't really in the know and like within
Exactly.
within the Devil Hunter Club, but Haruka Isayumi, this other girl, were probably kind of in the know. I mean, there is the possibility that Haruka Isayumi is just like doing stolen chainsaw valor at this point, and like this is just some fake like ripcord. He's like taking cosplaying to the next level. I don't really know, but it does feel like he would probably be more aligned with this potential Four Horsemen character, just given like the closeness between and the relationship between like the Chainsaw Man, in the past and like that group of devils. But I almost wonder like the guy who had the brass knuckle fisticuffs a few chapters ago, kind of feels like Jojo doesn't feel like he knows what's going on here. So I think there's like room for there to be different kind of like motivations and like trajectories within the Devil Hunter Club. I think one thing that's still, I think like on the Justice Devil motivations part of it, like why would the Justice Devil, if they are indeed a member, like let Yuko run rampant? And I almost feel like this is, I have no idea really. My best guess is that it's like it has something to do with just like wanting to become stronger, right? Like I feel like a lot of these devils, like they're really out here just to amass more influence and potentially like use that influence for some other end. And especially if they're collaborating with another very strong devil, like this could all be sort of a part of a plan to, I mean, maybe some like longer like plan, more like big brained scheme to do something else. But it could just also be like empowering themselves and having like basically a playground. If the Devil Hunter Club is kind of like the student council here, kind of having like a playground to empower themselves and like experiment. So that is also potential motivation as well. For me, a big question too is like, who like does this change how we feel about who killed Yuko, right? Because I think like I had two theories before. Like the first one being more like there is an actual separate Chainsaw Man. Like maybe perhaps like another piece of like Pochita that was like broken off, like separated from his body or something, and incorporated into like another hybrid perhaps. That actually, like, I think that was not the most popular theory last week or like the last chapter, but like this week with Haruka Isayumi like potentially having a legitimate ripcord in his chest, like doesn't seem like the worst theory. I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. And the second theory was just that like that Chainsaw Man iteration was just a version of the Justice Devil, and that could also be true as well. Like this could be perhaps Haruka Isayumi is like the Justice Devil instead of Chainsaw Man, and he's able to like take this form as like a form of justice. That's all that could be true, but I don't know like if that's changed for you, like sort of where you're standing on that.
No, I think honestly, it's still potentially adding up. I think that if the Justice Devil was in fact able to give people or bestow upon its, contractors the ability to, I guess, take the form of whatever they believe is, a justice dealing, individual or, entity, then this situation with Haruka Isayumi would totally make sense. I'm just wondering still whether or not that is actually the case, whether or not, right, it's some other Pochita piece, or if in fact he's the true Chainsaw Man versus Denji being something else. I think there's still so many questions on the table, and I think the plot is moving so quickly with Chainsaw Man, as it always does, and in such a wacky fashion that it's kind of hard to nail down those answers in any kind of concrete way. I feel like we've been guessing at this for like at least like 5 chapters now, just as far as what the Justice Devil actually is, like what properties of the devil itself are still not yet established, and then now we've got Fake Saw Man in here to just convolute things even further. So I don't know. I'm still on the page of the last theory that this could just be Haruka Isayumi's version of justice, and that's the power that the Justice Devil bestowed him. In that case, though, It's like, is Yuko's version of a justice dealing individual like Squidward? Like, what?
This could all be kind of a red herring to throw us off of like who actually killed Yuko, because I still like the idea that Yuko died as a result of breaking her Justice Devil contract, by like becoming disillusioned by her idea of justice and refusing to enact justice on others.
Yeah.
And so this is like a very convenient way to say, oh, hey, you guys, had ideas about who this like fake Chainsaw Man was at the end of chapter 111. Well, here's another guy who has a Chainsaw Man ripcord, so obviously it's him. And it's like, well, actually, it's not him. Like, actually, this is just like this guy just like put some silly putty on his chest and like glued a ripcord to it or something, right? I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, just to kind of throw us off the scent here. But yeah, I think like you brought up really great points in that like his form is just so specific. If he truly is like, if he can like turn to Chainsaw Man, right, and like if he is like that arm that has like the same sort of like arm wounds that Denji has after he like brings out his chainsaws, like it's just so on point. It feels way too specific for this to actually be for that to be like some kind of Justice Devil manifestation of himself.
Right.
Like it kind of feels like something else is at play with that particular like person who killed Yugo, and we don't have any proof yet that Isayumi can do what he says he can do. So
Right.
it'll be interesting to see that. But I mean, it looks like we actually, we have the date next week, I think, which will be cool just to see exactly what comes out of that, because I think Yugo's going to have to fight the charm of my man Denji. He has had, I mean, it's not like Denji,
it's pure charm.
yeah, I mean, it's not like Denji doesn't get the ladies, right? I mean, he doesn't convert.
Come on.
Usually try to end up killing him, but like he gets in those situations, so he's positioning himself for a dub here.
The man has game.
He has very slight game, right? He has like that a little bit of unspoken riz. Like she walked up to him, was like, "Hey, would you like to go on a date?" Right? I mean, sure, she has a plan, but it might just be to fall into my boy Denji's arms. I don't know.
One thing that I also wanted to touch on as it pertains to twirly-eyed girl with the pull cord earrings is the mention of a little sister and Yoru not having any kind of relation to that. I was kind of surprised now that the chapter has focused on re-encountering the twirly-eyed girl and potentially seeking her out as maybe the Justice Devil culprit. I was really surprised that Yoru kind of, was also confused about the little sister language and wondering, what she was talking about. And so I'm wondering what familial relationship Twirly-Eyed Girl was calling out. Who is your little sister? Were you referring to Yuko? Were you referring to Asa? Were you referring to Yoru? What was actually being said there?
When you think about past interactions with Yoru and Asa, Yoru's never mentioned by name like any of the four horsemen that she like fought with against Chainsaw Man, right? Like she never brings up Makima at all, or even like the concept of a control devil specifically. Perhaps it just never came up in the conversation. But I kind of wonder, just given what we know about Chainsaw Man eating devils, the fact that it has like mass memory manipulation abilities, if eating a part of a devil wouldn't perhaps impact our memories of like some of the like our memories of the concepts that they ate. Like we know that like nuclear weapons were sort of a part of Yoru and then were eaten, right? And so like that's like drastically weakened her, and it's also weakened people's recollection of like World War II and like the fear of war, right? So I almost wonder if like getting a piece of her eaten also impacted her own memories as well. Like she remembers that like why she was weakened. She remembers like the fight broadly, but perhaps she doesn't remember the people that she was fighting with. I just feel like they would probably recognize one another if there wasn't some form of memory impairment. That is my idea.
But to your point, it's not as though Yoru has mentioned any of them by name. And the first time we met Yoru, she was a bird. So, it's like, it's really, she could be, girl, is that you?
Right.
Famine, is that you? Death, is that you? Girl, what? You look good. All right, y'all. That wraps up our discussion of Chainsaw Man chapter 112. As always, very interesting chapter. Jerry and I are wondering what the heck is going to happen next. And if you haven't read it, get on in there. But if you have, hop on in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Otherwise, make sure to like and follow and hit us on our social. We've got them tagged in the description below. Otherwise, I'm Justin.
I'm Jerry.
And this has been the Anime Group Chat. Catch y'all later.
Peace.